Hey guys, I'm Sartorial Phil. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have three bags, if you want to call them that, on display. And this video, I just wanted to have an update on each of these three. I would consider these my three heart-sided bags. I do have the Goyard briefcase, but that one I haven't worn yet because the size is too large really for like an everyday bag or a city bag. The three that I have here are three that I have used multiple times. So I wanted to talk about how they were worn or like my experience with them. And these three all happen to be different materials and different ways of opening, but you can kind of see all three of them are more or less neutral colors. These three cases, I think you can tell easily. This is Gucci, Louis Vuitton. That one's a little bit more obscure, but that is Moynat. And I have detailed videos of all three on my channel already, which I will link below if you want to see more of the details and the pricing and the modeling videos. For this video, I'm going to show you some of my Instagram pictures that I have featuring these. And if you don't follow me on Instagram already, but you do like my content, I think you're going to find things that you'll enjoy on my Instagram page as well. And usually I preview items before I actually review them on YouTube, so you get a sense of what's going to be coming up. This is the Gucci GG Beauty Case or Vanity Case, and this is a collaboration between Gucci and Globetrotter, which is an English brand. This has the signature charred bamboo handle, and this case itself, the fabrication of it, the design of it, is basically Globetrotter. The one other difference is that there's Gucci on the metal hardware here. So all three of them come with shoulder straps, and all three of them are removable. So this one, you can see the D-ring is here for you to attach it. And the back is pretty plain. It's kind of what you would expect. This one is primarily coated canvas in the GG Supreme canvas here. The corners are leather. It's a really hard leather, and it's the same leather that Gucci uses for their canvas bags. They have quite a few of these canvas bags with this brown leather. It has a very distinctive grain pattern on it, and I believe it's the same exact leather. For this one was I think 1980, so about $2,000, and this was featured on the runway. So this one you open by pushing this lock, which does work, down, and it engages this. The thing that bothers me about this is that when you open this, if you open the top all the way, it's gonna fall down because the top is a lot heavier than the case. If you're not too familiar with Globetrotter, you may be wondering why that is, because the body of the case should have more material than the top. And I have this in my detail video too, but if you look at how thin the sides are, you start to realize why this is so top heavy, because of the extra hardware here and plus the handle. Because it's Globetrotter. This case essentially is made by Globetrotter because it is also made in England, which is where Globetrotter makes their goods. So this collaboration, I think Gucci just sent them the materials for them to make it with the GG canvas, this brown leather, and the bamboo handle. So right now I just have the dust bag in there and the shoulder strap. And the inside is just a plain red interior. It's like almost like a linen lining. But like I said, it's pretty thin. I think you can tell from this angle how thin it is. The material that Globetrotter uses, their exact terms I believe is called vulcanized fiberboard, which I think is it's a fancy way of saying it's compressed paper or paper-like fabrics. So under high heat and high pressure, they compress these fibers to make this very lightweight but rigid material. So it is really strong, like this material, that's why they make suitcases out of this. It's really strong and structured, but it's light and rigid, and it can be molded into a shape without having seams. It comes with a leather strap as well. Nothing too crazy, but it's using the same brown leather. Something that I talked about in my full review of this video is that I wish it came with some sort of leather keeper, because this strap, the extra strap, can be pretty long, and without some sort of tie or elastic to hold the end down, it just flops everywhere because of the way it hits your shoulder. You just attach, you push these in. So I'm going to close this one. And in terms of using this one's kind of the most awkward to use, because just the way it's shaped, it's kind of difficult to open it while you're wearing it, because the top kind of presses on you when you try to open the top. This one, however, does fit the most things because it's just one hollow compartment, and it's more or less the largest. So that's what the strap looks like on it. There's no shoulder pad. There's just one adjustment buckle. And I think this one has just 3 adjustment holes. And you can certainly add more if you want to make it shorter, but you're going to run into that issue of the extra leather strap just dangling or folding the other way when you put it on your shoulder. I also wish the strap was a little bit thicker. So even though this is the largest case, it has the thinnest strap of the 3 that I showed. But in terms of weight, this one is not the heaviest. I'm not exactly sure if you can still order it, but I don't think I see it on the website anymore. I don't think pretty sure it's not going to be a permanent item. I do see that they have another piece from Globetrotter. I think it's like the briefcase or the luggage that they do still carry, but this specific piece might be harder to get now. This next piece is from Moynat, which is more or less owned by LVMH now. It's another trunk maker, and they were actually founded before Louis Vuitton. This is a pretty special piece. This is kind of from their heritage line. This is the Mini Limousine 20. And this is a hard-sided piece, and what's special about it is the bottom. You can see there is a curve because it was based off of one of their old trunk designs, which had curved bottoms so they can fit on limousines, hence the name. So like the wheel, you can actually put these on, not this size, but like an actual luggage size. They can put them on the roof, and then on, I think, even some of the wheels. It matches the curve, so it prevents it from toppling around. You see, you have a flat bottom suitcase and a rounded roof. Inevitably, the suitcase is going to keep going like this and might even fall off. So it has a curve, and then it has the emblem here, the Moynat. So this one is completely leather wrapped, and their leather is super high quality. It feels like satin, and it's pretty uniform. This one is gold hardware. I think they call this color ebony. It's like a really dark, rich chocolate brown. And the way you open this one, it's like a S-lock for the Louis Vuitton. You push this over, and then this is also called kind of like a cat's tongue. It's one of Moynat's signature element, the shape of this. You see it on pretty much all of their locking mechanisms. It's this shape. And the inside of this one is leather lined as well, unlike the Gucci one. But this one is quite a bit more expensive, even though it's smaller. I think this one in the US was $7,200. And there's really just one small pocket here for you to store some cards. Right now I just have the authenticity card. And this is made in France. Pretty much all of Moynat's goods are made in France. So it has a blind stamping there, but It's on smooth leather, so you can see it a lot better. And you can see the thickness of this one is quite different than the Gucci one, because this is made out of wood and then they wrapped it in leather. So the fabrication is definitely, there's a lot more that goes into this one than in the Gucci one. So, and then you have a leather strap that loops through this part. For this specific one, I'm actually not going to put it on in this video, but you can check it out in the full detail one. The reasoning is because whenever you take it in and out, it bends or it stretches out the hole every time. So I'm afraid it's going to get too loose the more times I do it. And I have to use the longest one in order for it to fit more comfortably as a crossbody. Because I think this can be worn more like a shoulder bag, but I prefer it as a crossbody. So I have to use the longest adjustment for that one. And this is in the same leather as the case. And it is slightly thicker, so it's the shape of it you can see here. It's thinner where it straps into these arms here. So these kind of ears here is where you would strap this in, which is the thinner part. And then you can see the shape of it here. It gets a little bit thicker where it's going to hang off of your shoulder. And there's no buckle to adjust this. The only way to adjust this is through these 3 holes that you put through this. So you put through that, and then these do move. This is why I talk about like the leather keepers. But these are going to be short anyway. However, it just keeps them intact like that. So you just hook them on both here. This last piece is my most special piece. It is the most expensive out of the 3. It took the longest to get, and it is the heaviest. This is the titanium clutch box from Kim Jones's last collection for Louis Vuitton. This is Fall Winter 2018 men's. So it comes with 2 locks on the top. So these leather pieces prevent items from falling out, because when you wear it as a crossbody, this is how it would open top down while it's on the side of your body. If this was a regular trunk that you use on the table, then it would be pointless to have these leather inserts. But much like this opens like the petite malle, so that's why they need the leather inserts. But this has, unlike the petite malle, this has 2 compartments. One slightly larger, which is on the bottom, and then one is slightly smaller. And then there's a middle kind of flat card slot that's zippered. In some ways, I kind of prefer that this wasn't divided, which means you wouldn't have this zippered compartment really. You could maybe have a pocket like the petite malle, but I think you can store larger items. The way this is structured, just like the petite malle, it can't really hold that much. You can't hold an item that is like the size of the interior, because you have to factor in that it's divided in half. Plus, when you close it, these fold in, which also press against the contents that you have in there. And that is the tag. You can see it has a runway tag for Fall Winter 2018 for men's. And it has the yellow stitching and the red glazing, which is the signature for their leather, like this Vachetta leather. But I'm not exactly sure if it's actually the untanned leather that will patina. I still haven't removed the plastic sheet here yet, so there is still some bubbles. This one is around 22,000 US, so by far this is the most expensive hard-sided bag in this collection. And the strap, this one is different from the others in that it has fabric plus leather. And these are pretty standard clasps that go onto the D-rings on the sides. And they are adjustable There's these buckles on both sides to adjust them. So you can comfortably wear them crossbody or shoulder and can fit a lot of people because it is pretty adjustable. There's a lot to adjust here. But one of my critiques, I guess, on this is that the leather keeper is really loose on these, so a lot of times it kind of just slides off of it. But it doesn't always do that. Definitely prefer that I at least have some, unlike the Gucci one, which doesn't have these at all. I think this one, there may have been, I'm wondering if it got cut a little too long, so it's a little too loose. And this one has Louis Vuitton on the large leather shoulder piece. And this font treatment were in the other titanium goods. And even the other leather goods, like on the bottom of some of them, it has this font. It's like a bold, condensed sans serif font. I think this is probably the first time they use this font. And it has the yellow stitching and the red glazing on it as well. So I think his last collection, this is kind of like a tribute to Louis Vuitton's, their classic leather pieces. And I'm just going to show you a few pictures from my Instagram account featuring these bags, so you can get a sense of what they look like in context and what they look like worn. And that's my video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Check me out on Instagram for the latest updates and exclusive content. And I hope to see you in my next video.